For every dance I attended in high school, I would average about give or take 1 to 3 blisters. So when I decided to go to my first fantasy ball, I knew that I didn't want to be miserable. What a concept! With that said, my name is Alex. I have been to many fantasy balls, and here are some tips for how to make yourself also not miserable. Alright, so starting off, you have some cat hair on me, Mr. Sai. He's sitting in my lap right now. So to start off, you're gonna want band-aids. And this isn't for after your feet hurt, but preemptively before your feet start hurting. And so when it comes to band-aids, you're going to want to put it preemptively so that you reduce the friction between your skin touching your shoe. So you're going to think about your heel, the parts of your toes that are kind of making contact with the shoe, kind of to the side especially. That's a big one for blisters. All right, so next up, if you're gonna buy just one thing on this list that, you know, has a good ratio between cost and effectiveness, it would have to be blister spray. I'm sure any blister spray would work, but this is the one that I use. And I guess, what can I say? I have no idea how it works, but when you apply the spray to the front, the underside, the side, and the back, as well as the top of the entirety of your foot, and then just let it dry, it just, I don't know how or why, but I have not had any blisters since using this product. You do need to have it dry for about a minute, but the minute goes by fast and you can just, like open up a book and then start kicking your feet out a little bit, thinking about how cutesy that scene is that you're reading, and it'll help with the drying process. Alrighty, so for this next one, it might give you some limited returns on your investment, but if you want to go full out, recommend it. And that'll be shoe padding. So this one you're going to want to opt for general arch support, maybe, well, honestly, any part of you that feels not great in the shoe you're wearing. You can see here where for this shoe I had glued in a bunch of padding here. So you got one piece of padding there, another here, and then another one at the base of it. And with this padding, obviously it's a similar color to the shoe. So yeah, if you can have it match the color of your shoe, then you'll be fine. And even so, your foot should be covering it anyhow, so shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's not as effective as I wanted it to be, but I think that maybe if it's thicker, or maybe if it's like those gel inserts, you would probably get more bang for your buck than for the little bit thinner ones. Alright, so this next piece of advice is definitely the most important and also doubles as the priciest piece of advice, but that is dance shoes. So here's my favorite pair of dance shoes. They look pretty normal, but let me show you. Let me demonstrate. So first we're going to take a look at the heel. So most heels, as you know, they got kind of that stiletto shape going for them. This one's got a base that kind of tapers out, or I guess the term is flares. So it has a base that kind of flares out, and this provides so much more extra support. Seriously, this provides so much support, and then you got that kind of thick, blocky heel to it as well. It's a decent surface area too. It's not a tiny surface area. They actually want you to enjoy wearing these shoes. So yeah, long story short, this thickened heel at the base there really aids in stability and general comfort. And then kind of like the padding that I mentioned earlier, so as you can see, there's built-in padding with these shoes. They're pretty squishy. They got some squish to them. Got some squishiness. It's nice. It's pleasant. It's kind of a pillowy texture. And then this is, I'm reading my notes down here. So then the other thing is that these shoes tend to be really flexible, specifically in the part of your foot that generally is, moving. You're not going to get this level of flexibility in a normal shoe. Let me show you as much of that. Okay, so then this next thing is great for a dance floor, but you're going to want to think twice if you're going to be walking a lot on grass or gravel. And that's, it's a little dirty here. But, so this kind of soft material, you can tell I've kind of rubbed it off on it, but you can really see how it looks new around here where it's not making contact with the floor. But it really helps you grip the flat floors. It helps in stability. It helps in not having yourself be a tripping hazard, or maybe you do want to have a YN moment and trip into a handsome Fae's arms. I don't know, but I personally quite prefer having my feet stable. So then last but not least, for this section, what I really like about these shoes is that you don't have to keep making like little holes in there to tighten the buckle the way it would feel nicest for your foot. So this is a false buckle. So what happens is instead of buckling with the little holes there, you shift the buckle over into here. And then ideally it would be as taut as your foot would need it to be to essentially have a perfect fit each time, which is really, really nice. If you are going to opt for non-dance shoes, which is totally understandable, just make sure to opt for ones that have some kind of straps to keep your foot in. Otherwise, you're going to be kind of miserable. At least I certainly have been. And if you ever want to do the can-can, your shoe may become a projectile, so I don't recommend. So then all these tips are great, but it's not the end-all be-all. You are still going to need to take breaks. You're going to need to bend your knees, flex your toes, get blood flow going into your legs to keep from fainting or getting lightheaded. Ask me how I know. Alrighty, so there you have it. I hope these tips help you have a blister-free and more enjoyable fantasy ball experience. Bye-bye!